Okay, this is the last part of the lesson. This involves something called factoring completely. There's two steps to do this. The first step is to factor out a greatest common factor and then factor what is left over inside the parentheses. So a couple of examples here. 3x squared minus 27. The greatest common factor is just 3. 27 is divisible by 3, as is 3. They do not share an x. So I factor out the 3. In this case, I have x squared minus 9. We learned about this last week. This is the difference of two perfect squares. The square root of x to the second is x to the first. The square root of 9 is 3. That factors into x plus 3, x minus 3. You'll notice you still need the greatest common factor here. Your greatest common factor times those other two factors make up your solution. Another example here, this trinomial, they do not all share an x, so I'm just going to look at the smallest number, 5. 15 and 20 are divisible by 5, so 5 is my greatest common factor. That leaves me with this trinomial, so I need numbers that add up to 4, multiply to 3. My magic numbers are 3 and 1. I'm going to go through and use the square. When I do that, I'm going to end up with this as a solution. So let's look at a couple of examples. I'm going to do 2 with you and have you do the other 2 on your own. So number 1, what I'd ask you to do is pause the video and try to figure out the greatest common factor on your own. So do that now. So here, 4. 100 is divisible by 4, as is 4. So that's going to be my greatest common factor. They don't share an x. So I'll have 4 times x squared minus 25. This is a binomial difference of two perfect squares. So I'm going to take the square root of x to the second and get x to the first. The square root of 25 is 5. So the 4 comes down. The x squared minus 25 factors into x plus 5 times x minus 5. X plus 5 times x minus 5. At this point, pause the video and work through question number 4. So let's take a look at how to solve question 4. 2. 2 is divisible by 2 and 72 is divisible by 2. So I'm going to factor out that greatest common factor. I'm left with this binomial x squared minus 36, which is the difference of two perfect squares. The square root of x to the second is x to the first. The square root of 36 is 6. So this becomes 2 times x plus 6 times x minus 6. And that's going to be my solution for number 4. Moving on to number 2. So I'll notice right away this is a trinomial. There's 3 terms. They do not all share an x, so I'm just going to look at the smallest number, 2. Are they all divisible by that? Yes. So my greatest common factor here is 2. I factor that out, x squared plus 3x plus 2. So now I'm just going to look at what's in parentheses. I need numbers that add to 3 and multiply to 2. So those magic numbers are 1 and 2. I'm going to draw my square. I have x squared plus 2, magic numbers 1x, 2x. Then I'm just going to get my GCFs here. X plus 2, x plus 1. So my final answer will be the GCF, which I factored out originally, 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 1. And it doesn't matter if I write the x plus 1 first and the x plus 2 second. Multiplication is commutative. We can change the order and you get the same thing. All right, what you need to do is pause the video and work on number 3 on your own, please. So for number 3, they do not all share an x. So smallest number is 2. Are they all divisible by 2? Yes. So 2 is my greatest common factor. I get x squared plus 4x minus 5. I have that trinomial. I need numbers that add to 4, multiply to negative 5. So really that means subtract to 4. Because this is a negative, I'm going to have one positive, one negative. Magic numbers are 5 and 1 because 5 is a prime number. They have to add up to a positive. The bigger number is positive. So I have my square, x squared minus 5 plus 5x minus 1x. Time to find some GCFs here. I'd be looking at x minus 1, x plus 5. Keep the GCF factored out, so 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 5. And that makes up my factor completely. So factor completely is 2 steps. Find the greatest common factor and then factor what's left in the parentheses. If it's a binomial, you're going to go difference of 2 perfect squares. If it's a trinomial, follow the method that we've used the entire time. At this point, you're going to do your factoring quiz number 5. Factoring quiz number 5. So you're going to pause the video. You're going to do factoring quiz number 5. At that point, you will be done with the factoring quiz. At which point, you're going to turn that in to one of the teachers, and you're going to work on your Delta Math assignment. Okay, if you're not done with your factoring quiz, your homework this week is to finish up the factoring quiz. It is on eDoctrina. You can finish it on there. If you have any questions, please send me an email. We can jump on a Google Meet this week. Thank you very much. I hope everything's all right. I apologize for missing class this week.